Watching the explosive exclusive, viewers, with me Rahul Shivshankar. Today there were 4 pleas being heard in 2 courts on the Gyanvapi dispute. One in Supreme Court, where while allowing Namaz and the wuzu to resume, Supreme Court put the onus on the DM or the district magistrate to ensure the area where the Shivling is claimed to have been found is protected, is secured. In the Varanasi court, in the local court, the survey team got 2 more days to complete and submit their findings, their report. But outside of the courts, the biggest debate has been over whether what is claimed to have been spotted yesterday, whether it's a Shivling or a fountain, disused fountain. The pictures are on your screens, viewers. They have been playing out ad nauseum. Times Now has accessed footage that puts into perspective why the Hindu side's assertion that the structure under the pond is a Shivling holds water, so to speak. Now, viewers, it all comes down to a matter of faith, belief, and convention, custom. And I want to bring in Priya for more on this. Priya Bahl joins me from the newsroom. On what basis can a conjecture, reasonable conjecture, Priya, I'm not talking about certainty here, reasonable conjecture be made that what we have seen in this wuzu area, the wuzu tank, is a Shivling?
Right, and it's very important, Rahul, that you mention that it is a matter of faith, tradition and convention. And I will tell our viewers why these 3 things are literally the bedrock of what is happening in Gyanvapi Kashinath Mandir right now. Here is an aerial view that will put into perspective for our viewers what is located where. This part you see is the Kashi Vishwanath temple as it exists right now. This portion here is the statue of Nandi that has been now mentioned multiple times. This particular Nandi, if I could zoom in on that, there is a bar, there are bars in front of it, then there is a wall. Remember, this is the wall that the Hindu side in the latest petition today wants demolished because they want more proofs to come out. What happened yesterday? Look at the positioning. Right in front of this Nandi statue is the Vazukhana. This is where the ablutions are performed. Times Now also got our viewers exclusive images of that particular Vazukhana inside where ablutions are performed. And here, Rahul, is where the Shivling was found, or so the Hindu side claims, that they have spotted a Shivling and is being contested by the other side as being just a disused, dysfunctional fountain. When you talk of tradition, when you talk of convention, why is this particular positioning important? Because as per Hindu tradition, whenever there is a Nandi bull, it needs to be facing the Shivling, and because this direction directly corresponds with that tradition and convention, the Hindu side is saying that what we saw must be, should be a Shivling.
So you're saying, and let's just get this straight, Priya, what you're saying is that the Nandi always looks on to Lord and Master. Nandi is Lord Shiva's #1 Bhakt. That's what you're saying.
Right. Nandi bull, in fact, is considered Lord Shiva's ride. So even yesterday, if you would have noticed, Rahul, a lot of people, when they came out and exulted Baba Mil Gaye, they also added to their statements that Nandi ki सैकड़ों सालों की आस्था इच्छा पूरी हो गई. He was waiting for his Lord to appear. And this is the whole link. Nandi bull is considered to be the ride of Lord Shiva, and which is why in most of the Hindu temples of Lord Shiva, you will see that there will be a Nandi statue. Now, the size and dimension of the statue is also mostly proportionate to the size of the Shivling. We've spoken to several priests from Kashi who have said this as well, that if there is a huge Shivling, then there is a proportionately large statue of Lord Nandi outside of the temple facing towards the Shivling as well. So yes, it is very important. The geography of this entire complex and this aerial view that we are now getting to our viewers puts in perspective why, when they say that what the structure that has been found in this Vazukhana, which falls in the mosque side, has to be most likely a Shivling.
Okay, so now Priya, this is very, very fascinating and interesting. Obviously, you're speaking about mythology. Can there be exceptions to the norm? Are there certain temples where this correlation doesn't apply?
Rahul, that is what the other side has been arguing. There have been assertions coming in from people like Asaduddin Owaisi, who says that I have seen several mosques and several other places of worship in Telangana where we also have Nandi statues, and it does not matter. But speaking by and large, this is more of a norm than an aberration.
And this, of course, is a Jyotirling. This is one of the 12 Jyotirlings, which is, of course, a supremely holy and extremely, of course, reverential place for Shiv Bhaks. Now, I just want to ask you this. Where is this theory that this is a fountain come from, and what is the basis for this theory?
Right. So it is the Muslim side, Rahul, who've been arguing that this structure is nothing but an age-old fountain that became dysfunctional. It is present in the base of this particular Wazu Khana. They say that the structure of this fountain is such, and what they are relying on, if you can see, there are certain cracks on top of this. They are saying that it was made in such a way so that it could ensure that there is a flow of water that comes up, and it has been used for a very long time by the Muslim faithful who come here to perform their namaz, to perform the ablutions. That's called wazu in Urdu or Arabic, and that is what they are saying is being used by the Hindu side to what they claim to be rumors that they have seen a Shivling, but it is in fact a fountain.
Well, Asaduddin Owaisi, viewers, thank you, Priya. Asaduddin Owaisi, of course, is one of those who has questioned this entire premise. And Priya is trying to put that into perspective for us, saying that, look, he's seen several other temples and examples where Nandi necessarily is not looking onto the Lord. Now, viewers, of course, we cannot independently confirm this, but Asaduddin Owaisi is expected to speak anytime now. Yesterday, he spoke to Times Now's Padmaja Joshi, and we're going to be putting that out at around 6:30, where he spoke very combatively about why he believed that the Hindu side was lying. Why Nandi is not quite there. Let's first listen in.
My opinion is that the order passed by the trial court is completely illegal. Which the order passed by the trial court, the lower court, is completely illegal. That order, which said sealing of that area, restricting 20 people to offer namaz. In my opinion, that order is completely illegal. I had hoped that today's Supreme Court would have stayed that complete order. In today's hearing, we are disappointed that the court has not completely stayed that order. They have allowed the namazis to go and pray in the masjid, Gyanvapi Masjid. The earlier order of the lower court was delimited to only 20 people. So, but we are hopeful that on the next date of hearing, the Supreme Court will do complete justice, because in my opinion, a grave procedural unfairness has happened, because the commissioner had not given a report to the lower court judge. A petitioner moves an application, and before even the notice is given to the Muslim side, the honorable judge passes an order to protect that area, that so-called thing called Shivling, which is not there, it is a fountain, and then limiting the namazis to 20. So that trial court order is completely wrong, it is unfair, and we hope that on the next date of hearing, which is going to be held on the 19th, the Supreme Court will recognize the grave procedural unfairness in A, ignoring 1991 Act, B, the Allahabad High Court stay of 1998, C, appointing of the commissioner ex parte, D, ordering and sealing without hearing of the other party. So these are the four things which we hope that on the next date of hearing, the Supreme Court will take note of it. But as I have told you earlier, the order of the trial court is completely wrong, unfair, illegal, which we hope that Supreme Court on the next date of hearing will completely stay that order.
So today,
that viewers was Asaduddin Owaisi saying pretty much what he has been saying over the last few days, continuing to resist any attempt at getting to the truth, opposing in toto the survey, saying that the entire process is ultra-virus, is illegal, and he's hoping for respite from the Supreme Court in a couple of days. Let's also listen in to one of the commissioners who was appointed to lead this entire survey, but has been now divested of his responsibilities because the Supreme Court, the local court has come in and said that, look, he was leaking information. Let's listen in to him first. And also, the All India Muslim Personal Law Board has called for an emergency meeting, those details coming in. But let's listen to Mr. Mishra first.
वो कुछ भी कह सकते हैं, मैंने तो सुरक्षित लोगों को ही रखा था। अब ये है कि एक आध लोग उसमें से आप ही को मैंने रखा और आप हमें धोखा दे दें, इसके बावजूद आपने उनको कार्रवाई से अलग कर दिया था। फिर भी इसकी आवश्यकता नहीं थी, लेकिन फिर भी उन्होंने किया, तो ये तो वही बता सकते हैं कि उनसे हमारी क्या दुश्मनी थी।
Well, an elaborate attempt, viewers, is being made to try and suggest that the Hindu side is wrong, that their claim is based on falsehoods, it is born out of prejudice. Let's open this up, let's ask some basic questions. Let me go straight across to Mita Chakraborty and ask her, Mita Chakraborty, what do you make of what the Muslim side has been saying?
Okay, good evening to all your viewers. I think it's abundantly clear now that it possibly serves a political force in the country to keep the country in a state of constant polarization, to promote social disharmony, and to use that as a tool of mass distraction, to distract the masses from issues of very high unemployment, issues of inflation, issues of failure in the economic front. Otherwise, I do not understand, despite having a ruling in 1991 about places of worship, about maintaining status quo, why are we trying to dig out? I know hatred is a very, very strong emotion. People get more motivated by feelings of hatred than feelings of love. And that is exactly what is being used here to distract the masses, to create social disharmony, to break the country in completely polarized states. Otherwise, I mean, exactly, are we trying to wage a war against Aurangzeb here? Where would this end? Where would this end? And why are we using hatred to motivate people, to divide the nation, to have this Hindu-Muslim divide only for political gains? So it does not serve any other purpose to modern India. I think we have to have a closure. We need to draw a line and we need to move on, and we need to focus on more important issues that are affecting our day-to-day lives. That is what I really feel about this entire issue. It's not about who is speaking the truth or who is not speaking the truth.
Deshratan Nigam, how do you respond to Mita Chakraborty, who comes out and says that, look, this is all part of some big communal conspiracy?
No, I think that's unnecessary extrapolating a very simple fact that there are only two sides to this story. One who wants the truth to be out, and one who wants to hide the truth. And there are people, politicians, who don't want truth to come out. It's a private dispute between the parties. Governments have nothing to do with it. Yes, government has been made a party. They will come and put their stand on it based on the factual situation on the ground. And to say that this is not about you should concentrate on employment, yes, the government's job they are doing, but our society also has certain job. The Hindu society also has certain duties and performances to, accomplish and do. It is a civilizational expression, a civilization aspiration. And there are people, because of their appeasement politics, they don't want truth to come out. And believe me, whether I don't want the truth to come out or the panelists don't want to have the truth come out, truth has ways of coming out. Truth will run after you in whichever manner it will, and it will come out. and our civilization has been based on truths. Please understand. Look at the Supreme Court's motto, which is there. Look at the any motto that you look, it is based on truth. Now, if somebody wants to hide truth, he may, compliment himself. He may, like himself that he has been able to do it for, say, about 300 years, 400 years.
Okay.
But truth has ways to come out. And it is coming out.
Truth has ways to come out, and it must come out. Mita Chakraborty, respond. Ram Bhaks, then, according to you, were agitating for the Ram Janam Bhoomi. Were they pursuing a triviality, a trivial cause? Is that what you would say?
I think the 1991 the judgment made it very clear. It made an exception for Ram Janma Bhoomi.
I'm asking you a very fundamental question.
But
no, 1 second. I'll come to that. We'll come to that. Mita Chakraborty, I'm asking you a fundamental question. You said that, look, these people should be concentrating on the bigger issues of the day, the ones that really matter. So I'm asking you, I'm taking you back in time. For many decades, Ram Bhaks were agitating in favor of securing the Ram Janam Bhoomi. Were they pursuing a trivial cause? It's a very simple question to you.
No, I'm giving you an answer, but before that, let me ask you something. In a country with Hindu majority, we all are practicing Hindus. I am a practicing Hindu. I'm a very proud Hindu. And I do not consider that the Hindu community is in any kind of danger right now. We are very, very comfortable with our religious identity.
You may not believe in Lord Ram, but there are plenty. Let's not insult other people who might believe in Lord Ram.
In Lord Ram.
Insulting other people? Yes, so let me ask you then. I'm asking you this fundamental question. Just answer it. I don't want to, I don't have 24 hours to debate with you. I'm asking you a simple, straightforward question. Give me a simple, straightforward answer.
Yeah.
Ram Bhaks were agitating from Ram Janam Bhoomi. Were they pursuing a trivial cause? Very simple question.
So I will again go back to the 1991 statement, which made an exception for Ram Janmabhoomi, but it also gave a status quo to all other places of worship.
Okay, so now let me ask you. Don't you think it's unfair that Ram Bhaks... No, you say you're a proud Hindu. So let me ask you a basic question here.
How far will we go?
1 second, madam. We can go very far. So then why do we talk about... No, then 1 second. On this question of... 1 second.
Around the country.
Fair enough. Let me...
What we are actually bracing ourselves for.
Okay, so you want this to be...
We are playing with dangerous lives, and this
Mita Chakraborty, let me... Okay, fair enough. Listen to the next question. You made your point. We've understood. We are not dumb here. We've understood what you said.
Thank you for understanding my point.
How far should we go back? How many years should we go back? How many decades should we go back? I'm only asking you. You keep invoking the 1991 Act. Now, let me tell you, you had a big problem with farm laws. 3 of those. Did you? Did you not? Yes, no? Yes, you did. You did because there was no consultation. Do you know the 1991 Act that was passed by Parliament by a Congress government never went through a consultative process? The same thing that you today accuse the Modi government of doing. Let me finish. These are facts. Now you can shake your head left to right, up, down. I'm not even going back in time. I'm only pointing out the facts. There was no consultation. The Law Commission was not taken into account. The opposition was not taken into account. There was zero viewers. It's a fact. There was zero examination.
So you mentioned farm laws. Can I answer
1 minute.
that?
It was passed. I'm not even getting. That's not even. I'm just putting the facts out there. I'm not even addressing the question right now. I'm just putting the facts. Since you have a view on it, I'm just giving the facts to the viewers. My question is to follow. So viewers, a law is thrust down the throat of the Hindu community at large. Forget about Kashi Vishwanath. Forget about Mathura. Forget about all your other desires. We'll only now talk about Ayodhya. Now, viewers, let me tell you, by doing so, you perpetuated the conditions for resentment. You put a lid on history. Now, some people say we should not examine our history. Then why do we talk about caste discrimination? Why do we go so far back into time and talk about caste discrimination? We shouldn't. We should have no affirmative action. Why are we in any way obsessed with righting historical wrongs? Then we shouldn't. We should just let things go. Now, viewers, look at this absurdity. 1991, she is quoting Mita Chakraborty as the gospel. Passed by Parliament doesn't mean that it cannot be revoked, viewers. It can be repealed. But let me just tell you, it makes a distinction between Shiv Bhakts, it makes a distinction between Krishna Bhakts, it makes a distinction between Ram Bhakts. Ram Bhakts get their point, they get their comeuppance, they get their justice. But can you imagine, viewers, the Congress party was splitting the Hindu community. They were denying Shiv Bhakts, millions of them, crores of them, and viewers, Krishna Bhakts. Why? Why? It's a fundamental question. I don't understand it.
Was that for me?
No, it's not. I'm just being rhetorical.
Okay.
I'm throwing it out there for our viewers. If you think it's okay, then fair enough. And on this other issue, and let me come to this now with you, Mita Chakraborty, you say don't open the can of worms of history. So then why do you agitate for the truth to be told? And you call it Dalit Lives Matter, etc., etc. Of course they do. For history to be put in the right perspective.
Because
for
they are
caste,
pertinent and
for
they're relevant even in today's time.
For the upper
That's
caste,
why.
for the upper caste to come out there and apologize to the backward caste, to the Dalit community. Why would you want that? Isn't that creating a fissure? Isn't that opening old wounds?
So when you talk about caste discrimination, we talk about caste discrimination about Dalit Lives Matter because those discrimination to a great extent are continuing even in today's time. We are not talking about opening up old wounds.
So,
we are not talking about dividing the community or dividing the society between the upper caste and the lower caste.
Court today
we are
to seek a restitution of their rights to worship are not hurt.
Are
you suggesting that the rights of are you saying in a secular country like ours, the state
not dividing people?
I'm only giving you a point. Are you suggesting that to the Congress party, the de facto president of the Congress party who calls himself a Shiv Bhakt in public, in a meeting, during the elections, doesn't care about the feelings and sentiments of Shiv Bhakts, millions and crores, who cannot go to a Jyotirling?
I call myself a Shiv Bhakt, and it is my God that has taught me to be more inclusive in my approach,
right.
To be more tolerant.
So then I want to ask you, if it is about inclusivity, then what more inclusive than allowing Shiv Bhakts access to a place which they say is a place that fulfills them? Why should the other community open its heart and its minds? How does this work?
Because your query is really, really long, and if you'll allow me just another 30 seconds to give me an answer.
Please, take 1 minute, but answer the question.
Okay. So this case is now in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court will take a decision, and we will all abide by the Supreme Court's decision and verdict, right? We welcome the Supreme Court's decision, and we will all abide by it. Having said that, I have a problem with this fundamental approach. This approach of going on digging into the past, this approach of saying 1991.
You don't speak for crores of Hindus. You might speak for the Congress party, which might have a problem with Shiv Bhakts. They might have a problem with Krishna Bhakts, but you don't speak for the Hindu Samaj. You certainly don't. In fact, at this particular meeting, this Chintan Shiva, viewers, the Congress party said we don't want to have a truck with any Hindu groups.
To be very, very problematic.
You came out very, very clearly to say we don't want to have any truck with any Hindu groups. We don't consider ourselves well disposed to the Hindu community. That is what they said. So the Congress party has decided not to speak up for Hindu interests. Mita Chakraborty doesn't speak for Hindus. She speaks for her party.
I speak for India. That includes
You don't
the
speak for India, madam. You speak for a political party. You speak for their point of view, and it's okay. We are in a democracy. I don't hold it against you.
And number two, I speak for India. I speak for an united, progressive, liberal India.
It's fine. In your view, denying millions and crores of Hindus a right to worship.
It's just a political narrative.
Right to worship their God.
That's the narrative that you're trying
Is
to
okay,
build
it's
in the
democratic
media.
for
That's
you.
exactly
I suppose
what
that's
you're
the
doing,
way.
and you know
No,
exactly
if that
what you're
was the
doing.
case, then why did you
People are
reverse?
seeing through the act now.
Okay,
Be
okay.
very
Mita
careful because people
Chakraborty,
can see
Mita
through this
Chakraborty, that act can be immediately repealed. Okay. I have contested you on 3 points.
Of course it can be. Any act can be repealed.
Yes, so
but
there you go.
what is happening right
so
now
if it is
people
tomorrow,
can
no,
see
there's
through
nothing
this
against,
now.
there's nothing
so be
against.
very, very careful about the narrative
Mita
that you're trying to
Chakraborty,
build.
please, don't threaten me. I'm not here
Of
to be
course,
threatened.
come on,
So
I'm
just
not
keep it
threatening.
open.
I'm engaging in a
Don't tell
civilized
me about very,
conversation
very
with you. Am I
careful.
not?
I'm only stating hard facts. Am I wrong on any of those facts? There was never a consultation with anybody. No social groups were consulted on the issue of drawing up a legislation denying crores of Hindus, crores of Sikhs, crores of Buddhists a right to reclaim what is theirs. Now, viewers, in a secular country where the state is not supposed to in any way impinge on the rights, the religious rights of any community, the Congress party passes a law which prevents this. And this is not the only law. The Congress has a long history. HR and CE Act, that was brought in. Viewers, selective attacks on one particular community. When it came to Shah Bano, they were full of compassion. They even went up against a Supreme Court order giving Shah Bano rights. Can you believe it? So, when the Congress speaks for secular India, it is actually advocating for a law that impedes, and I want to bring in Deshratna Nigam here. Am I wrong? It impedes, Deshratna Nigam, it impedes a whole bunch of people from different faiths access to their place of worship. And can you tell me, sir, the exact article of the Constitution that violates?
The right to equality, you have a right to equality, whether it is worship or other fundamental rights. That's the basic concept. And when you deprive a community to worship and claim what was rightfully theirs, and you freeze in time everything, then certainly this is a violation.
Okay.
And this violation can easily be set aside by the parliament. There's no doubt about it. And let me tell you, people are saying how far we will dig. This is a job of historians and archaeologists, mandated job of historians and archaeologists.
Right.
It is they have to put the history in correct and perspective. So
Absolutely.
Good, bad or ugly, people have the right to know the history.
Viewers, tomorrow, if you were to go by the Congress party, India was born 1947, 15th August. Before that, we didn't exist. This is a bit like Pakistan that denies any civilizational connection with India in their textbooks. They say after 1947, 14th of August, we have no connection with the Indians or their history. That's the mentality. I'll leave it at this, viewers. We're coming right back with Asaduddin Owaisi. Don't go away.